Hello, so I am Francesca, and this is going to be a February brief astrological overview, and then with some Oracle Tarot cards to kind of support, guide, etc. And February is chock full. January has been chock full. It's all been chock full. But it's going to get good. It really is. So let's just start. Let's just dive in, shall we? Okay, so on February 1st, we have the full moon in Leo. So very intriguing. Then, of course, the 2-2 portal. So every month there's, like a portal day, if not more than one, but we have the one on the 2nd. Then on the 3rd, Uranus goes direct in Taurus. So it has been in retrograde. It goes direct. It's revving up to eventually move out of Taurus. And I know that might bring a sigh of relief, but it's all good because we are still the first part of the month, the end of the year of the snake. On the 6th, Mercury enters Pisces, and then on the 26th, Mercury goes retrograde. So I do believe it's going to do its entire retrograde in the sign of Pisces. So I always think when I look at things, to me, there's a little bit more of a stability when it's retrograde in just one sign versus a couple signs, because then it brings in a whole other layer and other aspects, which can definitely be juicy. But I think we've had enough juiciness, right? The past 12, 13, 14 months. So it's all good. On the 10th, Venus enters Pisces. And then on the 13th, Saturn enters Aries. So Neptune entered Aries, was it been a week ago or so? I think it was on the 26th of January. And now we have Saturn stationing there now too. So we have major movements in our outer planets. Saturn is going to be in Aries until 2028. So it's going to have some time there. So good times. Let's see how things unfold. I'm here for it. Let's do this. On the 17th, we have an Aquarius solar eclipse. So we are in eclipse season now. Yay! And it's also the lunar new year, right? With the new moon. And yeah, so it's the year of the fire horse. So giddy up. It's time for action, and it's intriguing. It's all intriguing. I love it all. Then on the 18th, the sun enters Pisces. So happy birthday to all Pisces out there. And yeah, I already mentioned the Mercury retrograde. So lots of movement as always, but it's very significant because we have these major outside planets shifting signs, and they're going to be there for a minute or two. So there's a lot going on with us, and especially with Neptune shifting, like I said, at the end of January. So things take a while to adjust, integrate before forward heightened movement, but things are really going to take off. Some signs obviously are going to be more affected than others. For some signs, they're going to be able to take a breather if they've had one of these planets stationed in their sign that's really been maybe a lot of upheaval and growth. So now can begin I can take a deep breath. I can integrate now as these planets move out of certain signs. All right. So all that la-ti-da said, I pulled some cards because I like to also take a look at the overall transits, feel into the energy, and then pull cards for insights, wisdom, anything. I'm here for it. So it's interesting as I pulled from 2 different decks, and I think I might pull some from another deck, but I did a pre-shuffle just so that this video would not be hours long. You're welcome. And what was fascinating is I was shuffling the first deck. So I always, have my process, get really still, connect in, very meditative state. And when I started shuffling, like 4 cards came out. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I set those aside. And then like another 4 came out. And I was like, okay, this is way too many cards. But so then I always think, okay, that's curious. So what is that about? And then I kind of tune in. So it really is this end of the one lunar new year and the beginning of another. And there was so much shedding that went on during the year of the snake. We're still in the first part. And so to me, that was just really significant. Like there's been a lot of changes. And if you've been doing the work and evolving, like I think that's probably, it's not just about growth, but it's about evolving and becoming the best version of yourself that you can be right now in this present moment. And that really does affect everybody around you. And it also ripples and reflects right through time and space. And so then I was like, okay, do I need to look at any of these cards? Do I need to use any of these cards? And I was guided to put them back, continue to shuffle. And then one card just seriously, it was fascinating, popped up. And I was like, okay, this is the one. And I know, we're getting there. What's fascinating is the arrow. And the arrow is pointing up, which is hilarious because the card, sometimes cards go to the side, they go down, like whatever. But this went, and I find that fascinating because, the arrow is pointing up. So the message overall for this card is quite beautiful. And it really is about this, you're prepared and you're in alignment and you're on the right path and you've like pulled back the bow, you've released the arrow, and it's now like the freedom, the release, and trusting that the arrow is gonna hit its mark. Like there's no doubt, like there's absolutely no doubt with this card that the arrow is going to land perfectly. And I love that because I find that many times, and I get it, it's the, the human part of us or from past experiences, from childhood or even current days, the doubt can creep in. Or a lot of times when you share something with somebody, they're like, well, what about this? Have you thought about that? And sometimes in their mind, they think they're being helpful, but it really is more like they're raining on your parade, right? Raise your hand in the comments if that's happened to you. But it's like with this card, there's none of that. It's, you've done the training, you've done the work, and yeah. And so your job now that you've released this arrow is that knowingness, that trust, but even more, it's the detachment. You've released it. You've done the work, so you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about the when or the how. It is like it's done. And I think that when there's so much going on and there's so much in the air, to really lean into that energy is a gift. It's a relief. It's like, oh, well, I don't need to worry. Like there's nothing to worry about. Like it is. So whoever needed to hear that, trust. It's done. Like it's just relax. You've done it. And just focus on the trust part. All right. So then I went to another deck, shuffled some cards, and I had 3 pop out. So the first we'll talk about is the 4 of water, which is there's a dreaminess aspect to it. There's a contemplation. It's also about like choices and remembering the abundance of possibility. And to me, that is perfect for like the arrow, because you've done the work and you've released it, and it's that trust that it's landing at exactly where it's supposed to. And to remember that there are so many possibilities. There are an abundance of possibilities and potentials, and it's being open, and it's that contemplation, and maybe even just that remembering of that. And maybe that's all you needed to hear, right? So, yay. Then we have the Six of Water that came out. So what's interesting is this can go either way, but when I looked at it overall, there is a kind of like past memory, nostalgia to it. And at the same time, like I said, nostalgia can be good, and it could also sometimes, we'll say, hold people back. But when I look at the arrow and then with the Four of Water, to me, it tends more to recognizing the past, being grateful, and almost like using that energy to be really grounded in the present. So it's the thinking of the good and being grateful for it in the past, and knowing, retaining that gratitude, like, oh my goodness, look at all these opportunities that I had in the past. So my present, I'm even more evolved. So there should be even more possibilities and potentials. But it really is that remembering to stay present. And it's also, to me, it links perfectly, going back to the arrow. Like, the arrow has been released. You can relax. You don't need to, keep thinking, keep redoing. And to me, that's the reminder of the nostalgia piece, or the Six of Water. It's a recognition and then the detachment, if that makes sense. And then what's interesting then is the Five of Air. And I love the balancing of this. So air is all about like the mind, right? And so in this could be about conflict. But to me, once again, when I look at the overall thing, it's also a reminder about that there can be differing opinions, and you are allowed to change your perspective. And so are the other people that you engage with. And to me, once again, when I look at it overall, it makes a lot of sense. So you have a choice in this present moment to switch your perspective, to stay present. Are you going to kind of like replay things from the past, or choose the present? Because it's only in the present that we can then co-create the reality that we truly desire. So we can use past experiences to inform the present and use them in a very supportive way, not from a space of fear or perhaps old beliefs that you've shifted from, or old kind of records that you used to play, in your mind, those little voices that try to keep you safe, but they kind of do the opposite, and that's fine. It's all awareness. So now I'm just gonna shuffle and pull any other little, we'll say, advice, wisdom. February, like I said, it's gonna be an interesting month. We'll see. We have a solar eclipse, Lunar New Year, like it's all good. It's all good. Major planets shifting, a little bit of retrograde sprinkled in at the end, because why not? And once again, I see Mercury retrogrades as a time of reflection. And so I find that also very interesting about kind of like the contemplation card. Can't speak there for a minute. Retreating, reviewing, releasing. So retrogrades are always, it's information, and it's how we use that information. Ooh, one jumped. Oh boy. Wait, do you see this one? I love it. Okay. Okay, I'm hearing two more, so here for it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the first one that came out was listen. And to me, I think that really goes speaks to the 5 of air, because it's important. What piece are you listening to? What voice are you listening to? And do you need to deepen that connection within yourself and listen deeper to your own wisdom? We've been through a lot. And so I like to cards. I just talked about, detaching. You release the arrow and we have detach. So I love that. And detachment isn't not caring. It's not trying to control an outcome at the end of the day. I'm just going to make that so possible. Like it goes back to the trust. You just detach, and that what is transpiring and what is going to transpire supports your highest good and greatest happiness. And then, this is hilarious. So then the last one is connect. And I just talked about connecting more to your, your inner self, your divine light, right? That we're all these beautiful sparks from source. So connect with that even more. And then I also love the imagery here too. And it's not just when we connect more with ourselves, it also then strengthens our connection with others and our connection with source, universe, divine, whatever word feels appropriate to you. And that remembering really does then, it's like this beautiful loop. Then it comes back and it strengthens your own inner light. And so it's just this supportive, interdependent in the best of ways light system. So I love it. It feels great. Oh, that's so funny. I just looked at the bottom of the deck and we have believe. Trust and believe. So I'm here for it. So February, enjoy, stay mindful, just whatever comes up, awareness is key, honor it. Great. Okay. Maybe journal, however best you process and integrate information, trust that inner voice. And I just feel like that's super important, especially nowadays, and it really will be moving forward. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, click like, click subscribe, share with your friends, help spread the love vibes around the world, and take care. Sending Venusian blessings. Ciao.